All right. So today I kind of wanted to show something that I've been experimenting with over the last couple days. I've downloaded this really cool module for Drambo called the Taktful Drambo version 1.3 that you can get off of PatchStorage. I'll place a link to the module inside the YouTube description. But what's really cool about it, I forget who designed it. It's basically 8 instances of Flexi Sampler inside of a single module using the layers functionality. And each of the parts is comprised of a shaper, amp envelope, filter envelope, cutoff, filter, reverb, delay, and a dry signal, and then the ability of controlling the volume of each of those items, and then an overall compressor. And what's cool about that is that I've just been experimenting with this because originally it was just set up for single, like one shots. I think F2 is set up that way. So originally it was set up for just a bunch of single shots, single or one shots. And that's great because the idea was to mimic the Digitakt. And so what I ended up doing is like, hey, you know what? I really like using Flexi Sampler for slices. And so what I've done here, if you look at the way that F2 is constructed, is this little kind of cowbell. It's set up as a one-shot trigger and offset, and that's the default behavior. But since it's a Flexi Sampler, you have the ability of changing it to a slice. You can load in your own samples. And what I did is I set this to 16 slices, and instead of originally, the way Flexi Sampler works would be C2, C sharp 2, D2, D sharp 2, etc. And it would kind of abide by the piano scale. And it would play by note. But if I set it to random, all I have to do is tap on C2 here in the keyboard. So what it's doing, it's randomly playing those individual slices as I tap them out. And I kind of like to play with random melodies just to kind of create a mood. So first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and let's just change this to 8 voices so that they don't clip each other as they play. They kind of overlap and blend together. And what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to set this to 1/16, and let's just play that. Okay, that's a little bit slow, so let's go to 1/8. Okay, that pacing feels good. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop C2 here. And so if I play, and I'm just going to extend the notes a little bit. Okay, cool. So I have my little kind of piano motif going on there, being generated from the slices on C2. Now in D2, I have another sample. Okay, it's just this weird sound. So let me go into the piano roll. And I'm just going to drop them in different places. And what I want to do is I want to actually control the volume. So I'm going to drop the volume. And I'm just going to make it kind of crazy ping pong delay. There we go. Let's lower it a little bit. Sounds good. I'm going to go to C2. I'm going to check my delay on this. Okay, cool. Let's increase our reverb a little bit. Okay, what's on E2? Okay, let's go back to the piano roll. Let's drop the drums here. So on this particular step, I don't necessarily want it to always play the drums. So what I'm going to do, since I know it's E2, I'm going to insert a conditional, a cycle conditional, to only play on the second and fourth bar. I think it's a bar. Yeah. Or play the second time and the fourth time around. Okay. And let's go back into that view and let's lower our velocity. Okay. And then we're on E2, and just to be sure, set it to ping pong, feedback, pretty high, decent, wet. Let's drop the volume and test it. And we'll just let that play for a little bit. Okay. I don't really want that, so let's go pick another sample. I'm going to normalize it. And I'm just swiping down to bring up the contextual menu. Okay, we'll set this to slice, and we'll set that to random. And we're going to set to 16 slices. And let's just tap on it. Okay, I'm going to slow this down. Yeah, it's definitely not tuned correctly. So let's pick a different one. Let's try that one. Normalize and set our slices to 16. Let's go backwards and see what that sounds like. Let's drop it. Let's try and drop it about an octave. I'm just playing everything by ear right now. I don't know what I'm trying to create. I'm just trying to go for a feel. Let's try 12. I just don't remember what key the piano motif is playing in, so I'm just trying to find a matching key. Let's just go with that and just see how that feels. And I'm going to turn off quantization. Let's see where I want to drop this. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely not in the same key, so I could keep fishing around for it. That feels good. That's a little off still. Let's try 6 semitones. Okay, let's try there. All right, so what's really fun about this is that these samples are broken up into individual layers. I can actually, let me add another note here on C2 on that main piano. I can hold it and then actually go up 12 semitones. Okay, so now it's a higher octave. And on a per step basis, I can control things. So let's increase the delay there, just on that step, and then also the reverb. Okay, adjust the cutoff, and then drop the volume. So in this time around, it should be a higher note at a lower volume with much more delay and reverb. Okay. And then I can actually go in here and adjust the cycle, or actually, you know what, let's just do probability. Yeah, about half the time. All right, cool. So hopefully that just really kind of demonstrates the flexibility and power of drambo. Actually, let's go over here. I'm going to turn the volume down on that F2 quite a bit. And I only want it to play a few times. So with the taktful drambo, again, which I'll provide a link to in the description, you can load up your own samples, whether they're single shot or multi-samples with slices, set it to slice and random, and just allow that randomness to help you build a mood and a motif that you find enjoyable. All right, hope you enjoyed this. Thanks everyone, bye.